As the sun dips low across the American West, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose, something extraordinary unfolds beneath the fading light. Stretching across the rugged corners of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho lies a landscape that time has barely touched. Rolling mountain ranges give way to ancient forests, winding rivers carve through open valleys, and the earth itself seems to breathe with a quiet, untamed energy. This is not just wilderness, this is one of the last truly wild places remaining on our planet, a place where nature still writes its own rules, where the land speaks in eruptions, in roars, in silence. Welcome to Yellowstone. A destination so vast, so alive, and so breathtakingly beautiful that no photograph, no film, and no single journey can ever fully capture its soul. This is the story of a land that has endured for millions of years, and it begins right now. As we drift higher into the sky, the true enormity of Yellowstone begins to reveal itself. Stretching across more than 2 million acres, this extraordinary landscape unfolds beneath us like a living painting. Dense pine forests blanket rolling hillsides, winding rivers catch the light like ribbons of silver, and steaming geothermal vents rise from the earth in ghostly white columns, visible even from hundreds of feet above. What you're looking at is not just a national park, it is a legacy. In 1872, President Ulysses Grant signed the Yellowstone National Park Protection Act into law, making it the very first national park ever established in the United States and indeed the world. It was a revolutionary act of preservation, a declaration that some places are simply too magnificent, too irreplaceable to be left unprotected. Over 150 years later, that decision continues to echo through every valley, forest, and thermal basin stretching out below us. We descend now into something almost otherworldly. The Grand Prismatic Spring, the largest hot spring in the United States, stretches nearly 370 feet across, a living canvas painted by nature itself. At its core burns a deep sapphire blue, water so pure and so scorching that almost nothing can survive within it. But move outward toward the cooler edges, and life explodes in breathtaking color. Rings of vivid turquoise give way to brilliant gold, then burnt orange, then deep russet brown. These colors are not mineral stains or tricks of light. They are communities of heat-loving microorganisms called thermophiles, ancient life forms that have thrived here for thousands of years, each species claiming its preferred temperature like neighborhoods in a living city. Rising steam drifts across the surface like whispered secrets, softening the edges of this magnificent scene. Standing here, science and poetry become the same language. From the ethereal colors of the Grand Prismatic Spring, we now move toward one of nature's most legendary performances. The ground beneath your feet tells the story first. Small pools begin to bubble and tremble. Wisps of steam curl upward like whispered warnings, and the air fills with a deep pressurized hiss that sends a quiet thrill through every visitor gathered nearby. Then it happens. Old Faithful launches a thundering column of boiling water and mist soaring over 100 feet into the afternoon sky, exactly as it has done roughly every 90 minutes for centuries. The crowd falls silent, completely overtaken by the raw, unstoppable power of the earth itself. And in that golden afternoon light, something magical occurs. The sunlight catches the cascading mist, splitting it into a shimmering rainbow that arcs gracefully through the spray, a fleeting, breathtaking gift from nature that no photograph can ever fully capture. Leaving the dramatic eruptions behind, we drift northward into a quieter, more contemplative corner of Yellowstone. Here, the Mammoth Hot Springs terraces greet you with an almost otherworldly stillness. Smooth cinematic pans glide across cascading layers of white and cream-colored travertine, sculpted not by force but by patience. Shallow pools of turquoise water sit delicately across each tier, mirroring the open sky above like fragments of a dream. This is geology as fine art. For thousands of years, superheated water has carried dissolved limestone to the surface, depositing it layer by layer, building these breathtaking natural sculptures one quiet moment at a time. No two visits reveal the same formation because Mammoth is always changing, always creating. There is something deeply humbling about witnessing a process so ancient and so unhurried. Nature here does not rush. It simply builds slowly, beautifully, and without end. From the quiet geological artistry of Mammoth Hot Springs, we now venture into one of the most extraordinary wildlife corridors on the planet. As the first light of morning barely touches the horizon, a thick mist rolls gently through the Lamar Valley, a sweeping stretch of wilderness in Yellowstone's northeastern corner, so rich with animal life that it has earned the remarkable nickname the Serengeti of North America. In slow motion, a massive bison herd moves deliberately through golden meadows, their enormous dark forms emerging like ancient shadows from the fog. Each breath escapes as a soft cloud in the cool morning air, a reminder of just how alive this valley truly is. Around them, the valley breathes its own quiet soundtrack. Wind moves through tall grasses, birds call from distant tree lines, and a low, rumbling presence fills the landscape with something deeply primal and unforgettable. From the misty meadows of Lamar Valley, our journey continues deeper into the wild heart of Yellowstone. A gray wolf emerges at the tree line, moving with ghostly silence through the shadows of the lodgepole pines, its pale eyes scanning the landscape with ancient intelligence. Each frame feels like a painting, deliberate, breathtaking, and utterly alive. Then, along a rushing glacial river, a grizzly bear rises from the current, salmon gleaming in its jaws, water cascading off its massive shoulders in slow motion. Nearby, a bull elk stands motionless in a fog-filled clearing, antlers reaching skyward like cathedral spires. These are not zoo encounters or staged moments. These are raw, unscripted chapters of nature, unfolding exactly as they have for thousands of years. To witness them here in this protected wilderness is a rare and humbling privilege that very few people on Earth will ever truly experience. From the wild creatures of the valley, we now turn to the raw power of water and stone. The Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone is nothing short of breathtaking. Dramatic drone footage sweeps across canyon walls, glowing in deep shades of yellow and burnt orange, colors born from ancient hydrothermal activity transforming the very rock beneath your feet. The Yellowstone River carved this magnificent gorge over thousands of years, and every jagged edge tells that story. Then, without warning, the canyon drops away into the thundering lower falls, plunging over 300 feet into the roaring gorge below. It is one of the most spectacular waterfalls in all of North America. Mist rises in great billowing clouds, catching the sunlight and scattering it into brilliant, shimmering rainbow arcs that dance above the churning water. Standing at the canyon rim, you feel something ancient and humbling stir deep within you. Leaving the canyon behind, we follow the Yellowstone River as it winds peacefully downstream through vast, lush green meadows. The water moves gently here, its surface catching the surrounding landscape in near-perfect mirror-like reflections, creating a dreamlike symmetry between earth and sky. Wildflowers line the riverbanks, and the air feels impossibly still. Then, the river opens up into something truly extraordinary. Yellowstone Lake, the largest high-elevation lake in North America, sitting at over 7,000 feet above sea level. At dawn, the lake is breathtaking beyond words. Wide cinematic shots reveal snow-capped peaks reflected flawlessly on the glassy, undisturbed surface as if the world has been folded perfectly in half. A lone kayaker glides silently across the water, offering a quiet reminder of human scale against this immense natural canvas. In this moment, adventure and serenity feel like exactly the same thing. Leaving the lake shore behind, we step into a different kind of Yellowstone, one discovered only on foot. The Fairy Falls Trail begins quietly, winding through dense lodgepole pine forests where sunlight filters through the canopy in long golden shafts. There is a stillness here that no road can offer, a sense that you are moving deeper into something genuinely wild and unhurried. Our lone hiker moves steadily along the path, boots crunching softly on the forest floor, surrounded by bird song and the distant whisper of moving water. Then, without warning, the trees part, and there it stands. Fairy Falls, a breathtaking 200-foot ribbon of white water cascading freely into a tranquil pool below. Yellowstone rewards those who wander beyond the crowds. Its quieter trails hold some of its most extraordinary moments, intimate encounters with nature that stay with you long after you have returned home. As the afternoon sun melts into a warm amber glow, the experience of staying within Yellowstone becomes something truly extraordinary. The historic Old Faithful Inn stands as a breathtaking masterpiece of rustic architecture, its massive log framework rising like a cathedral built from the wilderness itself. Constructed in 1903, this iconic lodge has welcomed generations of travelers seeking refuge in the heart of the wild. Nearby, luxury glamping setups offer panoramic views of untouched meadows and steaming geothermal landscapes, blending comfort with raw natural beauty in the most remarkable way. As darkness gently settles over the park, evenings take on a magical quality. Guests gather around crackling fires, sharing stories while the temperature drops and the forest grows quiet. Then, slowly, the sky above transforms into something almost unbelievable, an endless ocean of stars exploding across the darkness, unmarked by city lights, reminding every soul present just how vast and magnificent this world truly is. As the last embers of twilight fade, Yellowstone reveals yet another breathtaking dimension. The cameras roll as time-lapse footage unfolds, capturing the Milky Way in its full, sweeping glory, arching gracefully over the dark silhouettes of geysers and ancient pine forests, standing perfectly still against the cosmos. Yellowstone's extraordinary remoteness shields it from the light pollution that robs so many of us of a true night sky. This makes it one of the finest dark sky destinations in the entire United States, a rare sanctuary where the universe feels genuinely close. Standing beneath billions of stars in a place this untouched, this ancient, and this alive, something shifts inside you. The noise of everyday life falls completely away. You feel simultaneously small and deeply connected to something far greater than yourself. In Yellowstone, even the night sky reminds you that true wilderness is one of humanity's most precious and irreplaceable gifts. And then, quietly, dawn arrives. The darkness softens, and the first light of morning reaches across Yellowstone with a gentleness that feels almost sacred. Golden rays touch the ridgelines first, then slowly descend into the valleys below, kissing the geothermal pools and setting the steam aglow in warm amber hues. Tiny droplets of dew rest on wildflower petals, catching the light like scattered diamonds. In the fog-filled meadows, elk graze in complete stillness, their silhouettes barely visible through the morning mist. Steam curls upward from the hot springs in long, graceful ribbons, dissolving into the cool morning air. There is no rush here, no noise, just the earth breathing. These slow, cinematic moments remind us why wild places matter. Yellowstone at dawn is not simply beautiful, it is deeply, profoundly healing, a reminder that in a world moving too fast, nature still knows how to be still. And so we return one last time to the places that took our breath away. The grand prismatic spring, glowing like a jewel set into the earth. The canyon waterfalls thundering through ancient golden walls. The bison moving like living thunder across open meadows. The wolves, the bears, the elk, all going about their ancient lives, indifferent to our wonder. The Milky Way stretching endlessly above it all, reminding us just how small and how fortunate we truly are. These are not just beautiful places, they are living systems, fragile and irreplaceable, shaped over millions of years and entrusted to our care. Yellowstone exists because people once had the courage and the foresight to say, this place is worth protecting. Now that responsibility belongs to all of us. Every generation inherits this wilderness, and every generation must choose to defend it. What we protect today becomes the wonder that tomorrow's children will discover. As the camera slowly pulls back, Yellowstone shrinks beneath an endless American sky, and somehow that makes it feel even more magnificent. This place does not ask for your attention, it commands it. It reminds you, quietly but powerfully, that the world is still full of wonder if you are willing to seek it out. So start planning your journey. Yellowstone National Park welcomes visitors year-round, though late spring through early fall offers the most accessible and rewarding experience. The months of May, June, September, and October bring fewer crowds and extraordinary natural beauty. When you go, tread lightly, stay on marked trails, respect wildlife distances, and leave nothing behind but footprints. The park entrance fees are affordable, and the memories you will carry home are truly priceless. Yellowstone is not just a destination, it is a reminder of what we must protect, cherish, and pass forward. Go, explore, be humbled,